Okay, so guys, in my demonstration of a critique, Michael's already had one last week, so he may be a little further along than others. I made some notes about things that I talked about, okay, with my students, and it's stuff that I'm sure Mitchell talked with his students. And so let's just take a quick look at these so that you guys kind of start to wrap your head around. These are all available on Canvas, okay? So when you're developing your design, the placement of interior objects and shapes and locations to spatial subtractions, consider the following. So these are things to consider as you start to develop your design. Okay? So the very first thing I wrote up here is try to use maybe an idea of subdivision, okay, for how you decide on where to place an object and how far to take a cut. Avoid doing things that are arbitrary. I just felt like maybe taking it to here. Right? Try to use something that uses a mathematical subdivision if that's a simple way. Many of you guys, your knee-jerk reactions were always to go to symmetry, right? And I push you away from symmetry. Well, now it's like, okay, you want to do symmetry? Do it this way. Do it as part of an asymmetrical composition. All right? So that becomes kind of a crucial element that you guys need to look at when you're doing this thing. I can't read these from where I'm at, so I think I'm going to walk over to the computer. Okay, go ahead.
You want me to start at the top?
No, the second one. I already covered the first one.
Okay. Remember that any decision you can make can have an impact on other elements of the design, and as such may require that you alter decisions made earlier. Gee, that's what we just did in Emily's crib when we changed the position of the pedestal 3 times.
So you guys may have placed your porches and your how wide the porches were based on kind of an intuition at first, right? And your approach axes. Well, now as you start to decide on where you're going to put the pedestal, where you're going to put the wall art, where you're going to put the window, where you're going to put the doors, that might have an effect on those initial sizes, and you have to go back and reflect that.
For example, if you place your wall art in a specific midpoint location on an eastern wall, you will have to place the window directly axially west. That may in turn conflict with your sunset chord shape or the placement of the door.
What we just talked about. Let's go to the next one.
Consider how, I love reading your words, consider how the spatial subtractions will have an impact in defining the interior space. For example, if you are making a spatial cut on the roof shape, of that cut inside could be used to define a subspace inside the gallery. The spatial subtraction could also be used to highlight and align with the pedestal or the wall art. Decisions are generally not arbitrary. They are instead often based on prior decisions, configurations, or relationships.
Are all of them?
No, there's more.
Oh, all right, keep going.
Use spatial subtraction.
Spatial?
That's what the author wrote. Spatial subtraction to create benches, counters, and high shelves inside the gallery. Remember your lesson about some of the key dimensions of your body when deciding how tall a bench or a counter is. Let's take a break. What would those dimensions be? 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all around us all the time.
An eighth of an inch?
Eighth of an inch. That's the number.
For example, how tall is a seat? What does that relate to in the human body? It relates to the distance from your heel to about where the back of your knee is. So that's about how high a seat is. How deep should a seat be? Well, that's about the distance from the back of my knee to my butt. Right? Counter.
You want to measure it? Sorry.
They all did. That was the first day assignment.
They didn't measure yours though.
Oh, not mine. No. For counter, right? Are you guys comfortable working on a low counter down here? No, you want something that's here. And some of you guys are really kind of a little bit on the vertically challenged side. So I see you guys at these desks. It looks like you're working on something that's about up here. So those are things, right, that we taught you the very first day of class when you were required to measure yourself that you're now reapplying here. And the reason I'm bringing that up, and the reason I noted that, is that I had a lot of students in my section say, I want to put a bench here, and when I measured it, the top of the bench was at 3 feet. And I go, so you're like going to jump up on that table to sit down? So you got to think about those things, and you're going to use your body to relate that. So next.
To continue on, try to use axial alignments and subdivision on the inside of the space to help you make decisions about where to start or stop, the spatial subtractions. Let me read that last sentence again. Try to use axial alignments and subdivision on the inside of the space to help you make decisions about where to start or stop the spatial subtractions. Last but not least, always consider the flow of visitors to the gallery and make certain there is enough circulation space. For example, if you place your pedestal too close to a wall, visitors may not be able to comfortably stand around it. Door swing direction can also create conflicts. That's why we always draw the door swing. It's not just enough to draw the opening. Draw the door swing.
All right.
And now we're done.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop that video.